It's Ron Reader digs the universe. I'm Ron Reader, and this is Ron Reader Digs the Universe, and tonight, chasing education's heroin dragon. And for this metaphoric construction, the heroin dragon is critical thinking. I used to say that critical thinking is education's holy grail, but now I just say that they're chasing the dragon because it feels good, like you're saving the world or something, but you never quite catch what it is you're pursuing. It's a much better metaphor. Critical thinking is a bit of a slippery idea. I looked at three different dictionary definitions last night, and they're all pretty vague, using words like analysis, evaluation, or judgment, objective, rational, process. What's it all mean? We can teach kids to jump through word hoops on standardized tests, but I'm pretty sure that's not critical thinking. A great big yes to an objective, rational, analytical, evaluative thought process, but how the hell do you get there? I became a critical thinker almost accidentally. I didn't set out to do it, especially because I already thought I was a critical thinker, and I didn't realize that I had done it until a couple years after the fact. Got my Bachelor of Fine Arts degree from the University of Texas back in 1991, which gave me a good grounding in arts criticism. In my youthful wisdom, I decided that I needed to continue my higher education journey, and so I went on to get a bachelor's in the study of radio, television, and film, or more simply, mass media. I should probably also say that a desire to continue the awesome lifestyle of the white bourgeois college student probably also had a lot to do with this decision to continue my schooling. Because media studies are amazingly interdisciplinary, drawing from multiple academic fields, I was introduced to what I see as a sort of multiple perspective critical thinking. For instance, in my film and video theory class, we had the end goal was to be able to analyze and evaluate anything that comes on a video screen in terms of Marxism, feminism, psychology, semiotics, technology, economics, and so on. And it was pretty awesome when I started doing this. I felt like this approach was so intellectually liberating that I ended up using it for pretty much everything I think about. What would a psychologist say about it? An educator, a mainstream economist, a neoliberal, a lefty economist, an African American studies scholar, an anthropologist, a sociologist, an environmentalist. What would John Lennon say about this? Or Gloria Steinem, Cornel West, or Sigmund Freud, Harvey Milk, Cesar Chavez, Keynes and Friedman? All these questions are with me now when I consider any given topic, and then I wonder about what it is that I'm missing. To me, this is critical thinking. Objective, rational, analytical, evaluative thought done 5 or 6 different ways from 5 or 6 different points of view. I'm not, an expert in any of these fields, but I read widely enough to get a general idea of where different people are coming from, and yeah, you've got to read a lot more than just the news. Critical thinking takes a lot of effort and practice, but I think that as you practice critical thinking, everything gets way more interesting because now everything affects everything else. No single topic is boring ever again. But alas, it's all a pipe dream, an impossible goal, a mythic holy grail, a heroin dragon. One reason why for that is cultural and conservative. Throw in capitalists, political leaders, and pretty much anybody with any power or influence at all. You see, the powerful don't like the questions critical thinkers ask. Questions that may threaten them, their power, their money. Conservatives, more generally, just hate critical thinking. Their entire worldview depends on there not being any critical thinking. I mean, just check out the hysterical Southern Baptist reaction to what they're calling critical race theory, which, pretty much exposes them as the sleazy, racist, sexist hucksters they are. Of course they hate it. And they're doing everything in their power to undermine American critical thinking. And they're really good at it. Another reason why critical thinking is an educator's heroin dragon is the nature of American schooling itself. While individual teachers, usually in English lit classes, do their damnedest to get kids to think critically about literature, it is almost impossible to generalize these critical thinking skills to other subjects taught by other teachers in other classrooms. The schools artificially separate knowledge into various realms, which rarely, if ever, interact with one another in meaningful ways. So the deck is structurally and systemically stacked against teachers when it comes to teaching a multiple perspective critical thought process. And let's also not forget the rather authoritarian nature of the American high school, a moment-to-moment ongoing real-life lesson in do as I say that serves as a massive counter to anything students might learn in the classroom about objective, rational, analytical, evaluative thinking. American schools may very well produce some good thinkers, but they're usually good in only one area, maybe two, and never the twain shall meet. And it's what happens in between those realms of knowledge that affects the functioning of the present, and our population is ill-equipped to go there. Add to this the relentless consumer, religious, capitalist, and political propaganda that we are drowning in 24/7, all designed carefully to make us not think critically. And we have here some very fertile ground for fascism, which is exactly what we're seeing these days. I'm Ron Reeder. And this has been Ron Reeder Digs the Universe. Join me, Ron Reeder, again next week for another episode of Ron Reeder Digs the Universe. Like you're saving the world or something.